sound like rational actors, and what they're saying kind of makes sense. They don't seem like these irrational people that Pompeo wants them to be held into.
Well, let's be frank. The people in Washington don't have the gift of seeing themselves through the eyes of others. In other words, we don't really bother to stop and consider what the impact of what we say and do has on people overseas. We live in isolation in this bubble. Some people like to call it Versailles on the Potomac. In any case, they're not thinking about it, and they really need to, because the American people, they're not really familiar with the details on places like Venezuela or Nigeria, Kenya, Yemen, Thailand, Vietnam. I mean, we don't have a population that frankly has any reason to know a great deal about those places. But what they have figured out, which is different from what we had in the past, is that we're expending enormous quantities of money and time, resources. We're also losing lives, and it doesn't make any sense. Remember, in Vietnam, there was this underlying consensus in the United States: communism is bad, communism is dangerous. Well, the APAC neocon globalists have tried to equate anyone opposed to them and their agenda, whether they're an Islamic State in the Middle East or Russia or China or anyone else, as similar to the communist threat. No, Dan, I don't think it's worked. I think people don't understand that's nonsense. And by the time Vietnam ended, everybody understood just because we packed up our gear and came home, millions of Vietnamese communists were not going to build ships and float across the Pacific to attack California. I mean, this is the sort of nonsense. You were in Iraq, and you remember